Good evening, everyone. I have 6:30 on the dot. I am calling the meeting of the St. Louis County Council to order Tuesday, February 2nd, 2021, 6:30 p.m. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Yes, ma'am. Councilmember Days.
Here.
Councilmember Dunaway.
Present.
Councilmember Fitch.
Here.
Councilmember Webb.
Present.
Councilmember Clancy.
Here.
Councilmember Tracus.
Present.
Councilmember Harder.
Present.
Madam Chair, you have a quorum.
Point of order, please, Councilwoman.
Just 1 minute. Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. I believe you want to be recognized, Councilwoman Clancy. Please do. Thank you.
So as you know, Councilwoman Days, I continue to object to your assertion that you are the chair of this body, as does our own legal counsel. This has been well documented and is now the subject of a court case. If you wish to preside over tonight's meeting, go ahead so that we can continue county business with as little interruption as possible. However, I do need the record to continue to reflect my objection. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Days.
Councilman Tracus.
Thank you very much. I also like to join in Councilwoman Clancy's objection. I believe that it would be appropriate for you to consider emulating the grace that Councilwoman Clancy has demonstrated and perhaps be willing to agree to alternate who presides over our meetings on a weekly basis beginning tonight. But I do also want my objection to be noted for the record. Thank you.
Thank you. Approval of the journal. Is there a motion to approve the journal of the meeting of January 19th, 2021?
So moved. Second.
Is there a second? All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed, no. Motion carries. The journal of January 19th, 2021 is approved. I believe the journal of the 26th of January has not been finalized yet, so we will do that at the next meeting.
Madam Chair.
Madam Clerk?
Yes, Madam Chair. May I just ask the council members, I think when we first went to WebEx meetings, we had asked everyone when they make a second to state their name. It would be helpful if we could go back to that because sometimes I cannot distinguish who is making the second, if possible.
That would be just fine.
Thank you. And the other thing I want to mention tonight is because we've gone live with our portal, I will now be able to time our speakers on the screen. So you will actually see a timer come up on the screen. We will no longer have to look at my stupid phone. It will actually come up on your screen and the speaker will also be able to see that. So that's kind of a nice feature that we will have going forward. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
All right, then. Thank you very much. And we will govern ourselves accordingly. We have no bid openings this evening, so we will move to communications.
Madam Chair, we have no tax compromises this evening, so we will move to zoning matters. Under zoning matters, item number 1, 6th District.
Receive, file, and the council exercises its power to review and refers the matter back to the Planning Commission. Same motion for item number 2.
So ordered.
Item number 3, 6th District.
Diane, I'm not sure I heard you on number 3.
She did say 6th District.
Okay.
Yes.
Receive, file, and the county council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
So ordered.
We have no road and bridge. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
We have no road and bridge matters this evening, so we'll move to other communications. Under other communications, item number 1.
Receive, file, and the county council will be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation and that will be the order.
Item number 2.
Receive and file, and that will be the order.
Item number 3.
Receive, file, and the county councilor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation. That will be the same motion for item number 4 as well, and that will be the order.
Thank you. Item number 5.
Receive, file, and the appropriation transfers be approved as requested. Is there a second?
Second. Harder.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries.
Item number 6.
Receive, file, and the appropriation transfer be approved as requested. Is there a second?
Second. Harder.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, no. Motion carries.
Item number 7.
Receive, file, and the appropriation transfer be approved as requested. Is there a second?
Second. Harder.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries.
Item number 8, 4th District.
Receive, file, and refer to the Department of Planning, the Department of Transportation, and Public Works, and the County Council.
So ordered.
Item number 9, 6th District.
Receive and file.
So ordered.
Item number 10, 5th District.
Receive, file, and the county councilor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
So ordered.
Item number 11.
Receive, file, and the county councilor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
So ordered.
Item number 12.
Receive, file, and the county councilor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
So ordered.
Item number 13, 2nd District.
Receive, file, and the county councilor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
So ordered.
Item number 14, 7th District.
Receive, file, and the county councilor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
So ordered.
Item number 15.
Receive, file, and the county councilor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation. Same motion for item number 16.
So ordered.
Item number 17, 1st and 5th Districts.
Receive, file, and the county councilor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, and that will be the order.
Moving to add-ons this evening, Madam Chair. Item number 1, 3rd District.
Receive, file, and the county councilor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
So ordered.
Item number 2, 5th District.
Receive, file, and the county councilor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
So ordered.
Item number 3, 5th District.
Receive, file, and the county councilor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
So ordered.
Item number 4, 5th District.
Receive, file, and the county councilor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
So ordered. Report of the county executive.
Good evening, everyone. The pandemic toll on our community will be felt for years to come. It's touched everyone's life in some way, and it's taken lives, taken livelihoods, and taken away any sense of what used to be. In St. Louis County, we acted early to put in place protocols to protect every resident. We had the first case of COVID-19 in the state, and we have had the most deaths of any county in Missouri. We've lost 1,705 of our residents to this deadly pandemic. Without the swift action we took, that number would be much higher today. We put in place one of the first stay-at-home orders in the country. We saw what was happening on the coast, and we prepared for the inevitable arrival of the virus here. We put a mask mandate in place after the federal government refused to act, and the governor said it's up to local jurisdictions to decide what's best for their communities. The protocols have worked. They provided challenges, hardships, and inconveniences, but they have worked. I've been asked, with the vaccine now available, when will the county begin relaxing protocols? 2 months into the nationwide vaccination efforts, about 6% of Missouri residents have received vaccines. We must have more shots in arms before we can think about making substantive changes to our health protocols. However, we did make one change on Monday. After consulting with our restaurant advisory group, which helped us shape the guidelines allowing restaurants to reopen at 25% last month, curfew has been moved from 11 p.m. From 10 p.m. We believe the proper measures are in place at these businesses to allow them to stay open a bit longer. Our restaurant owners say this will significantly increase the reservation capacity and make it easier for them to recover from this pandemic. We appreciate the continued input from our advisory groups in helping us look at ways to gradually reopen our community while protecting employees and customers. As for the vaccine, we stand ready to do our part, getting as many shots in arms as possible. But the vaccine supply must be greater, and we continue to nudge, prod, and beg our federal and state governments to get the vaccine into our community more quickly. Today, we received 3,900 doses from one of our hospital partners, and this will allow us to open our mass vaccination site in Ferguson tomorrow and to begin offering shots in 3 fire districts on Thursday: Afton, Eureka, and Melville. With a robust supply of vaccine, we estimate we can give 500 to 1,000 shots a day at the Ferguson location. And through our Department of Public Health, more than 5,300 people have received the first dose of the vaccine, including about 1,000 first responders. St. Louis County reached an agreement last week with SSM Health to vaccinate as many as 4,000 first responders, most of them police officers. The vaccinations began yesterday at St. Louis University Hospital. I want to stress that an appointment is necessary to get a shot at the Ferguson Vaccination Center, as well as the 3 fire district locations and at the John C. Murphy Health Center in Berkeley, where we have been providing the shots for the past few weeks. If you have not pre-registered with the Department of Public Health, please do so. Those who have pre-registered with the Department of Public Health will be able to get an appointment based on the eligibility tiers created by the state. And all 5 sites will be available to select from. To pre-register, send an email to dphcovidvaccine@stlouisco.com. Across the U.S., about 1.4 million shots are given each day, and the rate of vaccination is ramping up, but we still have a long way to go. The rapid turnaround of creating a vaccine for a deadly virus shows the power of science and collaboration. And I'm confident with the new administration in Washington, we're going to see a significant increase in vaccine availability soon. And together we will eradicate this pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to public forum. Madam Clerk, how many speakers do we have this evening?
We have 13 speakers this evening.
13 speakers. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, when your name is called, please listen for the clerk to ask you to begin speaking. Then we ask you to state your name and the zip code for the record. We now have this evening a timer on the screen, so you will be apprised of your 3 minutes as well as the clerk. Madam Clerk, please call our first speaker.
Our first speaker this evening is Elizabeth Cohen, followed by Carla Valenti.
My name is Elizabeth Cohen, 63005. It's come to my attention that St. Louis County Executive Sam Page has recommended that the 2021 budget include $4.3 million to resume an annual merit raise for county employees. With all due respect, do you think that this is the time to talk about merit raises for county employees, who by all standards are the lucky ones because they've continued to have a job throughout the pandemic? How out of touch with reality can you be? Not everyone has been so lucky. Many families in the county have been denied the opportunity to earn a living due to baseless mandates imposed on businesses by Sam Page himself. These are the taxpayers who would now be expected to fund the $4.3 million raises for the people who have had continual employment during the pandemic. By the way, it's the same people who are footing the bill for the ridiculous lawsuit filed over the council chairperson seat. Again, many of these people haven't even been able to earn a basic living for almost a year now, with no end in sight. Once again, thanks to Sam Page. Quite honestly, it's an embarrassment that this issue has been brought up right now. This discussion should be tabled until St. Louis County has recovered from the damages Sam Page has caused to our local economy and its businesses. And by the way, I also find it an embarrassment that our county executive, Sam Page, addressed his request to Lisa Clancy as chair, when the courts have upheld Days as holding the chair position until the court case is heard. What a disgusting lack of respect for the rest of the council members, and especially to Madam Chair Days. I am tired of listening to countless council meetings where the issues at hand are ignored. It is time to have discussions about the mandates and how they will be lifted moving forward. It is time to be transparent about what the mandates are based on. It is time to start following the CDC guidelines for quarantine and encouraging the schools to do the same. It is time to have accountability in our St. Louis County Council again. And again, I will add that the insistence that the public comments are done virtually is silencing many voices, and that I think that the email public comments should be back until you guys can be in person. Thank you for your time and for your efforts.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Carla Valenti, followed by Renee Artman.
Okay, this is Carla Valenti, 63040. I want to say thank you, Chairperson Rita Days, for allowing me to speak tonight. I really appreciate this afternoon's meeting with the Department of Public Health. It was good to hear firsthand what the plans are in place and to see what still needs to be done. I am grateful for those of you that are fighting for your constituents and their need and right to be vaccinated. It was refreshing to hear the questions that we have as citizens being asked of the Department of Public Health. I only wish Sam Page had been on that call. It would have been nice to hear him answer some questions for a change. Sam Page, what are you doing to get more vaccines to the St. Louis area? Why isn't there an approved plan in place already? We've known these vaccines were coming for more than 9 and 10 months. Why did Sam Page hire Rochelle Gray now? If this position was needed, why wasn't a qualified candidate not in place already? What qualifications does Rochelle Gray have? Was this new position posted? How many candidates were interviewed? Did you promise her this position in exchange for her illegal vote for Lisa Clancy to remain the chair? At some point, the vaccines will be the doctor's responsibility to administer, just like the flu shot. It seems like if this position was needed, it would be a short-term position. What will she do at this point in this position? Sam Page, the numbers in our county are down. They've been down. The numbers in the nation are down. Why did you extend the restaurants only 1 hour? This is a breadcrumb. Why didn't you increase the time to midnight or the capacity limit to 50% or both? Do you think this 1 hour is going to save their businesses? Do you think this 1 hour will provide them an income to pay their taxes in order for you and other county employees to receive a raise? Lisa Clancy, we know you're disappointed you're no longer the chair. We get that. Ernie Trakas made that clear. I was hoping you were over it by now and you would drop the lawsuit and save the taxpayers' money. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Renee Artman, followed by Josh Scher.
Renee Artman, zip code 63026. I have a question this evening directed specifically to County Executive Sam Page. Mr. Page, 2021 is the year of reapportionment, commonly known as redistricting, of the 7 county council districts as called for by the county charter, Article 2, Section 2.035. My question to you, Mr. Page, is when do you intend to notify the Democrat and the Republican Central Committees of St. Louis County? Have you notified the Democrat Central Committee? As a Republican chair of the St. Louis County Central Committee, I have not received any notification of this procedure from you or your office. This reapportionment has time-sensitive deadlines that must be followed as directed by the county charter. What is your intent, sir? Diane Valenti, thank you for all you do. Councilwoman Days, stand tall and strong. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Josh Scher, followed by Patty Cantor.
First, I want to go on the record and recognize Ms. Rita Days as the official chairperson. Thank you. After reading a letter written on January 29th from Sam Page to Lisa Clancy and the County Council asking for raises for county workers, including the council members and Sam Page himself, I assumed it was a joke. But unfortunately, this is real. I cannot imagine asking for a raise after putting hundreds, if not thousands of people out of work and killing the economy in St. Louis County. COVID did not shut down restaurants. COVID did not shut down small businesses. COVID did not shut down schools. COVID did not shut down the parks or the libraries. COVID is not responsible for increases in suicides. COVID is not responsible for increases in drug overdoses. COVID is not responsible for bacterial infections and teeth rot from wearing a mask all day. Incompetent government dictators such as Sam Page are responsible for all of it. There is no proof that shutdowns or mask mandates worked. Sam Page, your opening remarks are typical of the left, all talk and no facts to back it up. There is blood on your hands. Your response to COVID has nothing to do with keeping people safe. It's a recipe designed to take away the power of the people, destroying small businesses, limiting the places where we can go and things we can do, making us wear muzzles, scaring us with fictitious propaganda, moving the goalposts for getting back to normal, if there are any goalposts to begin with, and making us financially dependent on government. You still think you deserve a raise? This is all about control and the Great Reset. Too many of us are awake and fighting harder than ever before to combat this tyranny, and we will win. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Patty Cantor, followed by Lynn LeBob.
I'd like to reiterate what Josh just said. That was excellent. Thank you very much. I also would like to welcome and thank Ms. Rita Days for being our chairperson. Thank you so much for stepping up to the plate. I have watched the county council meetings for a long time, and I have never seen a council person so inept and destructive as Lisa Clancy. Honestly, I've run meetings before, and she has no idea of Robert's Rules of Order. I've never lectured a committee in my life. Now, as a citizen, I get to do that. So anyway, thank you, Ms. Days, and thank you, Councilwoman Webb, Councilperson Mark Harder, and you big bully, Tim Fitch, you wonderful Chief of Police and Councilperson. Thank you very much. I do want to tell you this. I haven't stopped my life. I go eat in St. Charles County. I don't go to St. Louis restaurants anymore. I'm not going to bother because Sam Page is trying to drive them into the ground. So my friends and I meet for lunch, breakfast over in St. Charles County. We shop over there. My grandchildren who go to school in St. Louis County have been in school since the 3rd week of August, and they continue. They have mask on, and they have had 4 days of virtual education during that entire time. So schools can do it, but of course Sam Page doesn't want it. So I don't know. I don't know how he has such a hold over people. I can't believe you're asking for a 4-point-something increase in raises. I have a family member that hasn't worked for 11 months in his chosen field because his job is gone because of you, Sam Page, and you, Lisa Clancy. It's really disgusting because the rest of the state has done just as well as St. Louis County and has not been shut down. I'm sorry, I don't see the clock, so I don't know how much time I still have. But I just want to thank you. Be strong, council people. Fight the good fight. And please, just whatever you have to do, do not let Lisa Clancy take over this council again. God bless you all.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Lynn LeBob, followed by Joan Smith-Lauer.
My name is Lynn LeBob, 63123, and I am a lifelong Afton resident. My comments tonight are directed toward the Club Car Wash proposal. In the past months, the corner of Gravois and Tesson Ferry had been rezoned to allow a restaurant with a drive-through. This use made sense to the residents of Afton. The property is right next door to Lutheran South High School, and there is retail in that area. Since we have very few eating establishments, this would be an enhancement to our bedroom community. There is also a concern that is a dangerous proposition. Gravois Road is very busy and almost like a highway. Car washes are known to have long lines at times as people wait their turn. This would cause traffic congestion and problems for traffic traveling along that Gravois corridor. Developments such as storage units and car washes seem to be popular at this time. It is because it's cheap investment due to low overhead, and developers are able to pay more for that property. Whatever the reason may be, Afton residents already have numerous car washes. Afton is an old town, but it is beginning to thrive, and new homes and new developments and fresh faces. I would ask for this council to say no to the rezoning of a car wash and leave the zoning the way that it is, so Afton can attract new restaurants with a drive-through that would serve the community for years to come. And I thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Joan Smith Lauer, followed by Nancy Rorden.
Hi, my name is Joan Smith Lauer. I live in 63123. I want to address the big issue to our neighborhood, which is the property in the northwest corner of Lindbergh and Tesson Ferry, otherwise known as Highway 21. It was formerly a Taco Bell, which was busy and successful as far as we could tell. We have several family-owned restaurants in the area, but we do not have a drive-through that is convenient for the folks of this neighborhood. My perspective is that intersection is the pièce de résistance of Concord Village. We're unincorporated, and I don't want us to be left out and kicked to the curb by putting a Q-Lib lube or whatever this man from Florida wants to put in a oil change place. It has no business on that corner. This is our corner. We have Dave Sinclair Ford, which is very representative. We have a bank. Why would we want an oil change place there when around the corner on Concord Village Avenue, the Jiffy Lube has gone out of business? And the oil change place down by the former Schnuck store, they stand out on the curb and wave customers in. This is not an area for that. On the neighborhood website today, people were complaining about the same as Miss Lynn LeBob commented. Gravois and Lindbergh are winding up with any spare space. You put in a car wash or an oil change or a storage unit. We're tired of it. We want some drive-through restaurants. We support them. We've always supported our restaurants in this area. That is my comment. Ernie, I hope you can get this done for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker is Nancy Rorden, followed by Lori Tracus.
Again, I would like to thank Councilwoman Days, Webb, and Councilman Harder and Fitch for showing St. Louis County that our leadership can be more than party. It is inspiring to see such a change in tone and leadership perspective. Congratulations. Meanwhile, elsewhere in St. Louis County, business seems to get more twisty and backroom every day. It seems we keep recycling party loyalists instead of allowing new leadership to rise to the top. The creation of a position for former Congresswoman Gray is so discouraging. The most unfortunate part If Gray had not participated in the scheme to protect the Clancy-Page power structure, it might have gone unnoticed. Instead, you put someone that did not even have the faith of their own district in charge of vaccination in St. Louis County. I would think by now that each job created by the county will require a job description and qualifications and be posted for applicants before it is appointed. But I forget, we live in Page times where there is no accountability or oversight for anything that is done. As our COVID numbers go down, I'd really like to focus right now on the mental health of our residents. In just my circle of friends, we know of 2 suicides, 2 attempts, 1 overdose, and 3 hospitalizations of people under the age of 20. Do you understand what the lack of in-person counseling and services is doing to people? Humans need connections. We need to feel connected to our minds, bodies, communities, and world. A healthy society needs multicultural interaction between all ages, genders, religions, abilities, and economic backgrounds to build understanding and empathy to encourage unity. Instead, we are still being forced into bubbles, pods, and cohorts of 10 people or less to contain the spread of the virus. Social media both connects and divides us as we seek others like us to feel heard and seen. This has displaced so many people in their life. It has created a sense of division and isolation that has altered the lives of children, teenagers, young adults, and elderly across our society, and diminished the sense of purpose and place in our communities. We have got to make changes now. Please listen to your constituents and do everything possible we can to open up our schools and open up our communities so that we can begin to form bonds again. Thank you very much.
Excuse me, thank you. Next speaker is Lori Tracus, followed by Pamela Knox.
Madam Clerk, Lori Tracus is not on, so we may have to reach out to her. So if we can go to the next speaker, I'll queue them up.
Yes, that would be Pamela Knox, followed by Lori Carter.
My name is Pamela Knox. I'm 63123. I've enjoyed the comments so far tonight, and I just want to add the comment about the potential change in the zoning of the area there on Gravois around Highway 21 or Tesson Road. I feel that we like to think of Afton as a growing community. We've had many changes that have improved us. I've lived in Afton over 40 years and I've seen a lot of pluses, a few minuses. I think of glamour or beauty to the area. And thinking of having a car wash, having it rezoned for a car wash, I should say, would to me create an eyesore. We have a car wash right down the road on the left-hand side, and it might be busy, might not. It's stayed in business a long, long time. But if you look at the glamour or the composure of it, it's an eyesore. Then you move that down where you want to put another car wash, not knowing who's going to be the maker of it, because I've seen a lot of new car washes coming up around the area. Some of them are very nice looking. Some of them are far bigger than could go into that space. But I feel that we should not let the council approve a change of the zoning, leave it as a restaurant or some type of food place that we can have to help the area for the needs of the growing community with all the new homes and with all the new activities that are being put in. Tower T, we've got the big housing coming up in Resurrection. We've got the one down the road there at St. George. We just really need to think going forward of what we can help the people that are going to be moving in. And a food restaurant would be the answer, not a car wash. So I would appreciate the consideration to not change the plan to rezone it. Thank you very much and have a good evening.
Followed by Arnie Dienoff.
Okay, my name's Lori Carter. I'm in the 63128 area code. $89,000. I'm glad to know that's what it costs to buy a vote in St. Louis County. Lisa Clancy, how does it feel to know you're only worth $89,000? but that's a big jump from the $60,000 that was paid for Ernie Tracus's sexual harassment lawsuit to get his vote. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what Kelly Dunaway is worth down the road. Some members of this council must think the residents of this county are not very smart. But you know what? We have your number. It will only be a matter of time before you end up where you belong, in a 6x8 room with no view. Just ask Stinger how that's going for him. I'm sure he thought he was above the law and would never get caught. Rochelle Gray is no more qualified for the position she was given as vaccine coordinator than a 16-year-old working at McDonald's. I've been watching county council meetings for months and months and watched her stumble over words, not even be able to put two sentences together to make any sense. What are her qualifications to handle a countywide vaccine process? Were there any other individuals who were more qualified for the position? I think we can all agree that she was given this position for being another one of Sam Cater Page's cronies. Even Sam's spokesperson texted the Post-Dispatch indicating that the hiring of Walton Gray was not in return for her vote to keep Clancy in charge of the council. I wonder if he was laughing the whole time he was texting that. Also, it's been reported that Sammy Boy wants everyone to get a raise, including himself. How can you justify giving out raises when you have residents of this county that cannot pay their bills, that cannot put food on their table, all because of the senseless mandates that you've issued along with the Department of Health? You keep pushing the goalposts back further and further with no end in sight. So much for flattening the curve almost 1 month later. Numbers are down and small businesses and restaurants need to be opened back up fully. And kids definitely need to be back in school 5 days a week. How do you all sleep at night and live with yourselves? Just remember, karma is what rhymes with witch, and yours is coming. I'm thankful and grateful that we have County Councilmen Days, Fitch, Harder, and Webb who care about their constituents and not what's in it for them. Thanks.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Arnie Dienoff, followed by Jason Moore.
Thank you very much. Good evening, council members. Has my complaint of Chief Mary Barton's brother-in-law, Mark Pillier of South County, been referred to, number one, the council's ethics committee, to the United States Telecommunications Commission? He did use the N-word and he did use the F-word over a public airway. These need to be investigated and taken seriously by the council, by the police commission, and by the Federal Telecommunications Commission. Could you tell us and release to us, the public, has Mark Pillier resigned, been fired, promised another county job? Will he receive his pension for life? Sam Page, you have the attitude that you're invincible and owed entitlement. Sam, your staff has stated that you go around stating, you scratch my back and I'll take care of you. You hired Rochelle Walton Gray in a power deal. Votes are obviously for sale. Pay-to-play politics has come into the game again. I thought we got rid of that 2 years ago. Guess not. What happened to your ethics, Sam Page? Same old, same old. What's going on and taking place behind the locked door on the 8th floor of the county administration building? You have 24/7 police security instead of police officers being out on patrol in the various neighborhoods and subdivisions. You have 5 to 7 full-time police officers assigned to you. Was a new health position created open to the region to apply for? There was a deal that was made with Albert Walton for Rochelle Walton Gray's votes. An $89,000 salary? Wow, how did you come up with that salary? Benefits, please disclose them to the public. Pension, her loggers. She put in 4 years as a council member. It takes 5 years to be vested. The rule of 80, the average of the last 3 years' salary will be her lifetime pension. When she reaches age 63, she will get $71,200 for life every year. Her state legislative pension of $17,900 for life. Her husband will soon be vested in the state pension system. Why do you ignore the cries of foul play from the public? It just is not fair play. Two Spring Schmidt, why are the police, firefighters, paramedics, and health medical workers not being vaccinated before going to the next tiers of the nursing home residents. That's very concerning. The people responding to calls, 10% of the police officers have COVID, and they're not getting the shots that they need on as soon as possible. It just doesn't make very much sense. Thank you very much, Madam Chair and Diane. I appreciate it. You guys have a good evening.
Thank you. Our final speaker this evening is Jason Moore.
Good evening,
Mr. Moore.
everybody. Jason Moore, 63021. Thank you for having me us tonight. First, for Chair or Councilwoman Clancy and Councilman Tracus, can you please stop with the whining every week? It is getting rather tiresome. For Mr. Page, I want to let you know that I've been out in Jefferson City the past 2 weeks testifying in one Senate committee and then last week in a House committee talking about A, health concerns, but B, also in regards to reestablishing proper authority and proper controls around local regimes who decide they want to take control of people's lives in a region without having any definition on how long that could take, under what conditions, and who actually has a final say in it. And I would like to tell you that in both counts, your name came up several times as somebody who was elicited information, data, even to come out and testify, and it was the same answer on both sides. Nothing. They got nothing. Why? Those are tax dollars that are being whittled away in these committees, trying to pass good laws, and they asked for data to come from the county executive's office. And it sounds like, for lack of a better term, you blew them off. That's a crying shame, and that's really unfortunate and unbecoming of a county executive. But on the flip side, all of the testimonies of all the business owners, of parents that were out last Tuesday was nothing short of compelling. You are destroying people's lives, I assure you. It was, I think, roughly around 4 to 6 hours worth of testimony throughout that entire meeting. You came up, along with the city of St. Louis, but you came up as the destroyer of lives. And that is, I cannot tell you, I would never thought I would see the day in this country, let alone this county. On the flip side, what I want to relay to parents and any adults that are on this call and listening, watch your kids, look out for each other, hang tight with your friends and family, and talk. As Nancy Reardon said earlier, there's a crisis going on in the mental health of our kids and even their parents. I spoke on behalf of those folks last week. It needs to be dealt with, and everybody needs to talk. And I don't care if you have to ask every day, every week. It doesn't matter. Please keep the lines of communication open with your friends and family. Even if they look like they're okay, you need to check in on them.
Thank you. Madam Chair, that's all the public speakers.
Thank you very much for all those citizens who wanted to come out and have their say. We do appreciate your words. Moving on to introduction of bills.
Yes, ma'am. Bill number 33, introduced by Councilmember Days, an ordinance amending ordinance number 27,749 pertaining to a grant from the Federal Bureau of Investigation to support of the cost of expansion of leased space for the police department. Bill number 34, introduced by Councilmember Days, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to accept a grant of up to $174,698 from the National Institute of Justice, Office of Justice Programs, appropriating the same for employment of employees for the Police Crime Laboratory, and authorizing the county executive and the superintendent of police to execute necessary documents. Bill number 35, introduced by Councilmember Days, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to accept a Paul Coverdell Forensic Science Improvement Grant of up to $244,275 from the United States Department of Justice, National Institute of Justice, appropriating the same for support of the fingerprint unit of the police department, and authorizing the county executive and the superintendent of police to execute necessary documents. Bill number 36, introduced by Councilmember Days, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to accept a Strategies for Policing Innovation grant of up to $700,000 from the United States Department of Justice, Office of Justice Programs, appropriating the same for support of the care system and employment of a computer programmer for the police department, and authorizing the county executive and the superintendent of police to execute necessary documents. Bill number 37, introduced by Councilmember Clancy, an ordinance amending ordinance number 27,000 pertaining to a contract with EFK Moen LLC for consulting engineering services in connection with replacement of Greenwood Boulevard Bridge number 424 and Railroad Street Pacific Avenue Bridge number 428, AR-1670. Bill number 38, introduced by Council Members Harder and Dunaway, an ordinance appropriating and setting apart the sum of $6 million from the unappropriated balance of the Convention and Recreation Trust Fund for certain ball fields in Hazelwood, Missouri, upon the terms and conditions described herein, and authorizing the execution of related agreements. Bill number 39, introduced by Councilmember Fitch, an ordinance amending the approved and adopted budget for the Health Fund for fiscal year 2021 by reducing the total appropriation to said fund in the amount of $122,000 as provided herein. Bill number 40, introduced by Council Members Fitch, Days, and Harder, an emergency ordinance authorizing the county councilor to execute a contract with Hush Blackwell LLP to provide for legal services rendered to Council Members Fitch, Days, and Harder sued in their official capacities in the matter of the legal action identified as case number 21SL-CC00193 in St. Louis County Circuit Court and declaring an emergency. Bill number 41, introduced by Council Members Tracus, Dunaway, and Clancy, an emergency ordinance authorizing the county councilor to execute a contract with Hush Blackwell LLP to provide legal services in the matter of the legal action identified as case number 21SL-CC00193 in St. Louis County Circuit Court and declaring an emergency. Madam Chair, that is all the bills.
Thank you.
Madam Chair. Madam Chair.
Councilman Fitch?
Thank you, Madam. I move to enact Rule 19 to suspend Rule 6 in order to advance Bill number 40 to the perfection order of business.
Second.
Is there a second?
Yes, Harder.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. We have suspended rule number 6.
Councilwoman Days?
Yes.
I'd like to make the same motion, please, to suspend the rules to advance Bill number 41 to the perfection order of business.
Let me check with Jen. Do we get through with one motion and one bill before we move to the other?
I don't think it makes a difference.
Okay.
I would take them up. I would take the motions up in the order that they were made, because you can take these up when you get your perfection order of business.
Okay, so that means that we will move with Councilman Fitch's first. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Thank you.
No, I'm saying you could take a vote on Councilman Tracus's motion as well.
Well, we're moving to suspend the rules,
Right.
period. So I don't know that is that a redundant motion? That's my point.
Well, I think if I'm not mistaken, and the clerk can tell us, I think Councilman Fitch made his motion to suspend the rules for a specific purpose.
Councilman Fitch did. He did that too, for bill number 40.
Correct.
And I did it for bill number 41.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna do one at a time. So we're gonna go with bill 40 first, since that was the first one made, and we'll move forward, and then we'll come back to 41. Okay? All right, moving on.
Diane?
I'm sorry?
I think
You
Mr.
gonna read
Clerk,
the bill to perfect it?
Madam Clerk,
Are we on,
we have suspended the rules for
Yes.
bill number 40.
right. And, okay, so now we're on perfection?
Correct.
Yes, okay, I'm sorry about that. Bill number 40, introduced by council members Fitch, Days, and Harder.
I move to perfect bill number 40.
Second, Harder.
Discussion?
Discussion? Councilman Tracus?
Thank you. I cannot, nor should anyone else on this council, support this measure. It is clearly illegal and requires prohibitive action in that the exhibit attached to the bill clearly calls for the county to pay for services rendered before the contract was executed. That is prohibited by both the state constitution and state statute. The county simply cannot do that. As such, this bill requires a legal action. I will not support it, and I urge all of you to think long and hard before voting to approve this measure.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
Yes, I have a question. Councilman Days.
Who would you like to direct your question?
My question can be directed to either yourself, Councilman Fitch, or Councilman Harder as the sponsors of this bill in question. I agree with Councilman Tracus, and I would like to know, what is the fiscal note on your bill? How much will this cost taxpayers in the back pay of Hush Blackwell Services at $525 an hour? Do you have that information?
How could we possibly know that? There's no way we would know that. Just like when you voted for Bill 314.
So you don't know? Okay, I got my answer.
You didn't know what that was. You didn't know how much that would be.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of perfecting bill number 40, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no.
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 Roll call.
The chair is in doubt. Please call the roll.
Yes, ma'am. One moment, Madam.
No
Chair.
problem. No problem.
Who made the second on that motion?
I believe it was Councilman Harder.
Thank you. Councilmember Days.
Aye.
Councilmember Dunaway.
No.
Councilmember Fitch.
Aye.
Councilmember Webb.
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy.
Nay.
Councilmember Tracus.
No.
Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Madam Chair, on the motion to perfect Bill number 40, there are 4 ayes and 3 noes.
Bill number 40 is perfected. Councilman Fitch?
Madam Chair, I move to advance bill number 40 to take up on the final passage order of business.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion.
Councilman Tracus.
Thank you. Again, I urge you to read the memorandum that you were all provided. This bill as drafted calls for illegal acts prohibited by the state constitution and state statute. It cannot be executed if it is even passed. So I would urge you to vote no for this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor, let's call the roll. Let's call the roll.
This motion needs 7 votes.
Correct.
Okay. Councilmember Days.
Aye.
Councilmember Dunaway.
No.
Councilmember Fitch.
Aye.
Councilmember Webb.
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy.
Nay.
Councilmember Tracus.
No.
Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Madam Chair, on the motion to advance Bill number 40 to the final passage order of business, there are 4 ayes and 3 noes.
The motion fails to advance to final passage, so it will be placed on the calendar for next week in the final passage agenda.
Councilwoman Days?
Councilman Trick.
Thank you. Again, I move to enact Rule 19 to suspend Rule 6 in order to advance Bill number 41 to the perfection order of business.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion?
Discussion?
Thank you.
Councilman Fitch.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is very interesting. We received this bill, even though it wasn't on the agenda at all, within a 24-hour notice. There was no request for legislation for this. And it's interesting, it's being sponsored by Councilman Tracus and Councilwoman Clancy and Councilwoman Dunaway. They're the sponsors of this bill to tell us that are being sued by them who our outside counsel can be and how much they can be paid and how the contract will read. That's very interesting. So I just wanted to make sure the public understood that these are the people suing us and they're trying to sponsor a bill that represents the legal counsel that would represent us in defense of this. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any further
Councilman
discussion?
Days, may I respond?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Starters, public notice was made by Councilman Fitch when he requested the legislation. This is no different than what he's asked for. The only difference is this bill provides a legal contract as exhibited with the bill that is in compliance with the state constitution and state statute. So that's the reason, once I realized what was afoot with the illegal action in Bill 40, that we needed to have a bill that would be able to get through tonight, hopefully, and allow Councilman Fitch, Councilman Harder, and yourself, Councilwoman Days, to retain counsel tonight if you wanted, or certainly by tomorrow, and do so under terms that can be enacted and would be enforced. If Bill number 40 proceeds, as I told you, it is unenforceable. This bill, Bill number 41, is legal. It provides a vehicle for you to retain counsel, and I urge the council to perfect it and finally pass it. Thank you.
Madam Chair, redirect.
Yes.
To respond to Councilman Tracus, we haven't even seen a contract. We have seen no contract from you all in this particular Bill 41. How in the world can we vote in favor of a bill where we haven't even seen the contract attached?
I'm quite certain, Councilman Fitch, that it was sent to you as it was sent to me as an exhibit to this bill.
We're not going to have the back and forth. We're going to have an order. When Councilman Fitch is done, then Councilman Tracus, you can respond.
The only thing that I'd like to add is that Jen Frank sent this bill from the county counselor's office to us at 6:11, and this meeting started at 6:30. How do you expect us to be able to read a multi-page bill and you say a contract that's attached in literally 20 minutes before, and then ask us to vote on it at this meeting? We sent our information to the county counselor's office before noon today. They've had it for over 6 hours, and they decide at the last minute to give us a bill with less than 20 minutes before the start of a meeting. And you think that's a good thing. So thank you, Madam Chair. That's all I have.
Thank
Councilman
you, Councilman
Fitch,
Tracus. Do you
your
want
bill
to
came
respond?
shortly before that.
Excuse me, Councilman Tracus, do you wish to respond?
I do. Councilman Fitch, your bill came moments before ours did, so you've done the same thing. We just responding to you. We're trying to provide a legal vehicle for you to retain counsel so that the court can move forward and determine the legal leadership of the council instead of bringing this out week after week.
Madam Chair?
Thank you.
One last.
Councilman Fitch, one last time.
Yes, ma'am. Councilman Tracus, our information was sent to Jen Frank before noon today. I can't help and have no control over when she decides to send it out. So thank you, Madam Chair. And I'll be voting no. Just for the record, I'll be voting no for that reason.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
Yes,
we are on
Councilman Days.
Just one second. We're on the suspension of Rule 19. Any further discussion?
Yes, I just want to point out again to Councilman Fitch, this and to the public, what we are proposing, as Councilman Tracus said, does not change your legal counsel or your pay rate. It merely provides a legally permissible route for you all to retain counsel, which we believe you have the right to do. The timestamp I have on your legislation is 5:55. I understand that you cannot control when the county counselor's office sends legislation down, but you need to recognize that your bill was also sent down late. This isn't ideal, but I also understand that this is a priority issue for all of us as well as our constituents, and we need to get this through court as soon as possible because our residents are counting on a resolution to this quickly. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, again, the motion is to suspend Rule 19. I'm sorry, enact Rule 19 to suspend Rule 6. We have been moved and second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, no.
No.
The chair is in doubt. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Yes, ma'am. Councilmember Days.
I abstain.
Councilmember Dunaway.
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch.
No.
Councilmember Webb.
No.
Councilmember Clancy.
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus.
Aye.
Councilmember Harder.
No.
Madam Clerk,
Yes, ma'am.
please change my vote to no.
Madam Chair, on the motion to enact Rule 19 to suspend Rule 6 in order to advance Bill number 41 to the perfection order of business, there are 4 noes and 3 ayes.
So the motion fails. Moving on.
Moving on to perfection,
Yes.
Bill number 20, introduced by Councilmember Harder.
Please hold Bill number 20.
Bill number 20 is held.
Bill number 32, introduced by Councilmember Tracus.
Move to hold Bill number 32.
Bill number 32 is held.
Bill number 266, introduced by Councilmembers Fitch and Harder.
I move to hold Bill 266.
Bill number 266 is held.
Bill number 267, introduced by Councilmembers Fitch and Harder.
I move to hold Bill 267.
Bill number 267 is held.
Bill number 302, introduced by Councilmembers Dunaway and Walton Gray.
I move to hold Bill number 302.
Bill number 302 is held.
Bill number 25, introduced by Councilmember Days.
I move to perfect Bill number 25. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Bill number 25 is perfected.
Bill number 26, introduced by Councilmember Days.
I move to perfect Bill number 26. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, no. Bill number 26 is perfected.
Bill number 27, introduced by Councilmember Days.
I move to perfect Bill number 27. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Bill number 27 is perfected.
Bill number 28, introduced by Councilmember Dunaway.
I move to perfect Bill number 28.
Is there a second?
Second, Tracus.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Bill number 28 is perfected.
Bill number 29, introduced by Councilmember Tracus.
Moment, please.
We didn't get that.
Move to perfect Bill number 29.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Bill number 29 is perfected.
Bill number 30, introduced by Councilmember Harder.
I move to perfect Bill number 30.
Is there a second?
Second, Fitch.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Bill number 30 is perfected.
Thank you. Bill number 31, introduced by Councilmember Days.
I move to perfect Bill number 31. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Bill number 31 is perfected. Final passage, please.
Bill number 320, introduced by Councilmember Clancy.
I move to hold Bill number 320.
Bill number 320 is held.
Bill number 14, introduced by Councilmembers Tracus, Days, Dunaway, Fitch, Walton Gray, Clancy, and Harder.
Move to hold Bill number 14, please.
Bill number 14 is held.
Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 76, introduced by Councilmembers Dunaway and Harder.
I move to hold substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 76.
Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 76 is held.
Bill number 202, introduced by Councilmember Clancy.
I move to hold Bill number 202.
Bill number 202 is held.
Bill number 220, introduced by Councilmember Tracus.
Move to hold Bill number 220.
Bill number 220 is held.
Bill number 8, introduced by Councilmember Days.
I move for final passage of Bill number 8. Is there a second?
Second.
Madam
Roll
Chair,
call, please.
Madam
Yes.
Chair, may we recognize?
Yes, Councilwoman Webb.
Thank you. As an employee of the Boeing Company, I understand and appreciate the importance of the Boeing Company here in St. Louis County and specifically the North County. However, as a current employee of the Boeing Company, to ensure there is no conflict of interest, I will be recusing myself of the vote for today in this legislation and abstaining. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Days.
Aye.
Councilmember Dunaway.
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch.
Aye.
Councilmember Webb.
Abstain.
Councilmember Clancy.
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus.
Aye.
Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Madam Chair, on Bill number 8, there are 6 ayes and 1 abstention.
Bill number 8 is finally passed.
Bill number 9, introduced by Councilmember Clancy.
I move for final passage of Bill number 9.
Is there a second?
Second, Tracus.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Days.
Aye.
Councilmember Dunaway.
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch.
Aye.
Councilmember Webb.
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy.
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus.
Aye.
Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Madam Chair, on Bill number 9, there are 7 ayes.
Bill number 9 is finally passed.
Bill number 10, introduced by Councilmember Clancy.
I move for final passage of Bill 10.
Is there a second?
Second, Dunaway.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Days.
Aye.
Councilmember Dunaway.
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch.
Aye.
Councilmember Webb.
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy.
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus.
Aye.
Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Madam Chair, on Bill number 10, there are 7 ayes.
Bill number 10 is finally passed.
Bill number 11, introduced by Councilmember Days.
I move for final passage of Bill number 11. Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Days.
Aye.
Councilmember Dunaway.
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch.
Aye.
Councilmember Webb.
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy.
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus.
Aye.
Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Madam Chair, on Bill number 11, there are 7 ayes.
Bill number 11 is finally passed.
Bill number 12, introduced by Councilmember Clancy.
I move for final passage of Bill 12.
Is there a second?
Second, Dunaway.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Days.
Aye.
Councilmember Dunaway.
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch.
Aye.
Councilmember Webb.
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy.
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus.
Aye.
Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Madam Chair, on Bill number 12, there are 7 ayes.
Bill number 12 is finally passed.
Bill number 13, introduced by Councilmember Clancy.
I move for final passage of Bill 13.
Is there a second?
Second, Dunaway.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Days.
Aye.
Councilmember Dunaway.
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch.
Aye.
Councilmember Webb.
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy.
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus.
Aye.
Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Madam Chair, on Bill number 13, there are 7 ayes.
Bill number 13 is finally passed.
Bill number 14, introduced by Councilmember Clancy.
I move for final passage of Bill 14.
Is there a second?
Second, Dunaway.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Days.
Aye.
Councilmember Dunaway.
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch.
Aye.
Councilmember Webb.
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy.
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus.
Aye.
Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Madam Chair, on Bill number 14, there are 7 ayes.
Bill number 14 is finally passed.
Bill number 15, introduced by Councilmember Clancy.
I move for final passage of Bill 15.
Is there a second?
Second,
Second.
Dunaway.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Days.
Aye.
Councilmember Dunaway.
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch.
Aye.
Councilmember Webb.
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy.
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus.
Aye.
Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Madam Chair, on Bill number 15, there are 7 ayes.
Bill number 15 is finally passed.
Bill number 16, introduced by Councilmember Tracus.
Move for final passage of Bill number 16.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Days,
Aye.
Councilmember Dunaway,
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch,
Aye.
Councilmember Webb,
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy,
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus,
Aye.
Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Madam Chair, on Bill number 6, there are 7 ayes.
Bill number 16 is finally passed.
Bill number 17, introduced by Councilmember Tracus.
Move for final passage of Bill number 17.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Days,
Aye.
Councilmember Dunaway,
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch,
Aye.
Councilmember Webb,
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy,
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus,
Aye.
Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Madam Chair, on Bill number 17, there are 7 ayes.
Bill number 17 is finally passed.
Bill number 18, introduced by Councilmember Harder.
I move for final passage of Bill number 18.
Is there a second?
Second, Fitch.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Days,
Aye.
Councilmember Dunaway,
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch,
Aye.
Councilmember Webb,
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy,
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus,
Aye.
Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Madam Chair, on Bill number 18, there are 7 ayes.
Bill number 18 is finally passed.
Bill number 20, introduced by Councilmember Clancy.
I move for final passage of Bill 20.
Second, Tracus.
Discussion, Madam Chair.
Discussion, Councilman Fitch.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to note that I am going to vote in favor of this prevailing wage. I support working families in St. Louis County and always have. The only thing I wanted to point out is if we're going to support working families, we need to support all working families. And specifically, that means the vote from the investigators and employees of the Prince County Attorney's Office still have not had a collective bargaining agreement that comes forward to this council for approval. This has been lingering for, 2 years now? So if we're going to be fair to all unions and working families, we need to be fair to all unions and all working families. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Days,
Aye.
Councilmember Dunaway,
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch,
Aye.
Councilmember Webb,
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy,
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus,
Aye.
Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Madam Chair, on Bill number 20, there are 7 ayes.
Bill number 20 is finally passed.
Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 21, introduced by Councilmember Harder.
I want to move for final passage of substitute Bill 1 for Bill 21.
Is there a second?
Second, Fitch.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Days,
Aye.
Councilmember Dunaway,
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch,
Aye.
Councilmember Webb,
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy,
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus,
Aye.
Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Madam Chair, on substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 21, there are 7 ayes.
Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 21 is finally passed.
Bill number 22, introduced by Councilmember Clancy.
I move for final passage of Bill number 22.
Is there a second?
Second, Dunaway.
Please call the roll.
Councilmember Days.
Aye.
Councilmember Dunaway.
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch.
Aye.
Councilmember Webb.
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy.
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus.
Aye.
Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Madam Chair, on Bill number 22, there are 7 ayes.
Bill number 22 is finally passed.
Bill number 23, introduced by Councilmember Clancy.
I move for final passage of Bill 23.
Second,
Is there a
Tracus.
second? Please call the roll.
Councilmember Days.
Aye.
Councilmember Dunaway.
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch.
Aye.
Councilmember Webb.
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy.
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus.
Aye.
Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Madam Chair, on Bill number 23, there are 7 ayes.
Bill number 23 is finally passed.
Bill number 24, introduced by Councilmember Clancy.
I move for final passage of Bill 24.
Is there a second?
Second, Tracus.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Days.
Aye.
Councilmember Dunaway.
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch.
Aye.
Councilmember Webb.
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy.
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus.
Aye.
Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Madam Chair, on Bill number 24, there are 7 ayes.
Bill number 24 is finally passed.
Bill number 32, introduced by Councilmember Clancy.
Yes, this is our newest allocation of emergency rental assistance and utility money. Looking forward to hopefully getting this passed tonight. So with that, I move for final passage of Bill number 32.
Madam Chair? Madam Chair?
Yes.
This bill has not been on the agenda for 14 days, so pursuant to the charter, it will need consent of all 7 members to be taken up for final passage.
So
Thank you, Councilwoman Clancy.
Jen, are you suggesting then that I make a separate motion than what I did, or does my motion still work to move for
Yes.
final passage? Okay. Thank you.
I would make a motion to take it up for final passage.
I make a motion to take up Bill 32 for final passage.
Is there a
Second,
second?
Tracus.
Roll call.
Okay, wait a minute. One moment. There it is. Okay. Thank you. Councilmember Days.
Aye.
Councilmember Dunaway.
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch.
Aye.
Councilmember Webb.
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy.
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus.
Aye.
Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Madam Chair, on the motion to take up Bill number 32 on the final passage order of business, there are 7 ayes.
So, Bill's number, what is that, 32?
32,
Bill number
yes, ma'am.
32 is finally passed.
Actually, I think I need to make a motion. So I need to make a motion now for final passage of Bill number 32. That was just to take it up for final passage.
Oh, I see. My apologies. So you are moving now for final passage of Bill number 32?
That is
there a
correct.
second?
Second, Tracus.
All right, roll call.
Councilmember Days.
Aye.
Councilmember Dunaway.
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch.
Aye.
Councilmember Webb.
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy.
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus.
Aye.
Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Madam Chair, on Bill number 32, there are 7 ayes.
So Bill number 32 is finally passed. Moving on to resolutions.
Yes, Madam Chair, we have one resolution this evening. Resolution number 1, introduced by Councilmember Clancy.
Please read the resolution.
Yes, ma'am. Resolution, whereas the County Council recognizes that the City of St. Louis has granted preliminary approval to a proposal allowing for aerial surveillance over the City of St. Louis City. And whereas neither the residents of St. Louis County nor their elected representatives have voted in favor of such aerial surveillance. And whereas the Council finds decisions relating to surveillance technology require strong consideration being given to the impact such technologies may have on civil rights and civil liberties. And whereas proposed maps of areas of coverage for the city reflect that 2 out of 3 coverage zones extend into St. Louis County. And whereas the Council finds that while surveillance technology may threaten the privacy of all of us, throughout history, surveillance efforts have been used to intimidate and oppress certain communities and groups more than others, including those that are defined by a common race, ethnicity, religion, national origin, income level, sexual orientation, or political perspective. And whereas the Council has not been informed as to how aerial surveillance within city limits would impact the many St. Louis County residents who live within the surveillance area, nor the impact such technologies may have on St. Louis Countyans' civil rights and civil liberties, including those rights guaranteed by the 1st, 4th, and 14th Amendments to the United States Constitution. And now therefore be it resolved by the County Council of St. Louis County, Missouri as follows. Section 1, the Council calls upon the City of St. Louis to affirm that any aerial surveillance conducted on the city's behalf, including the taking of any photographs or video, collection of data, or analysis of data pursuant thereto, will not be conducted over the borders of St. Louis County. Further, the Council calls upon the City to provide this Council with the policies and processes it will use to ensure any aerial surveillance it conducts of its own residents will not infringe upon the privacy and civil rights of residents of St. Louis County. Section 2, the Administrative Director shall send certified copies of this resolution to the Honorable Lyda Crewson, Mayor of the City of St. Louis, the Honorable Louis E. Reed, President of the Board of Aldermen of the City of St. Louis, Judge Jimmy Edwards, Director of the Department of Public Safety of the City of St. Louis, Chief Mary Barton, Superintendent of the St. Louis County Police Department, Judge William Ray Price, President of the St. Louis County Board of Police Commissioners, and the Honorable Sam Page, St. Louis County Executive.
Thank you. I move for adoption of resolution number 1.
Second, Madam Chair.
Discussion, please.
Yes, discussion. Councilman Fitch?
Thank you, ma'am. Councilwoman Clancy, are you aware that this project is dead in the city and elsewhere in the United States? There's no funding for it. It took its last flight in Baltimore on October 31st. That there is going to be no aerial surveillance over the city of St. Louis or St. Louis County for that matter. Are you familiar with that?
Yes, I've been following the issue closely, Councilman Fitch. It remains on the City of St. Louis's agenda, and until it is dropped, I consider it very much still alive.
Well, if it's not funded, it's not going to be alive. The City of St. Louis clearly isn't going to fund it. The other thing I didn't see in your resolution was anything about if it was to take place where it would be taking photographs in St. Louis County. I know you said the map included them flying over St. Louis County, but there's aerial aircraft over St. Louis County all day long. That doesn't mean they're taking some sort of surveillance. And I'm wondering what makes you think that this aircraft, if it was to come to fruition, would be over St. Louis County surveilling St. Louis County.
Yes, there was footage of the surveillance area shared before the Board of Aldermen committee that is reviewing this legislation back in January. I'm happy to send that to you for your review. It showed the pathway going over North County. I've spoken to county officials about this, and they are not aware of that, which again, I think underscores the purpose of this. We are not being communicated with about the possible implications of to St. Louis County residents. And that's part of the purpose of this resolution. We need to know how this impacts us.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Let me just say that I have been after getting this very, very late, I might add that in conversations with some older people in the city of St. Louis, and they absolutely are not in favor of any kind of surveillance. So I'm not sure, I guess this resolution would just go ahead and solidify that from the perspective of St. Louis County. So that's just my 2 cents worth. Any further discussion? It has been moved and second. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Days.
Aye.
Councilmember Dunaway.
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch.
No.
Councilmember Webb.
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy.
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus.
Aye.
Councilmember Harder.
Aye.
Madam Chair, on resolution number 1, there are 6 ayes and 1 no.
So resolution number 1 has been adopted. Moving on to unfinished business.
Yes, Madam Chair. Under unfinished business, item number 1.
We will hold Mr. Dundu's appointment, hold that on the order of business, and that will be the order.
Yes, ma'am. Item number 2.
On the order of business, that is the appointment of Mr. Rodney G. as well. We will be having a committee to hold with both of those as soon as we can arrange.
Moving on to new business, we have 2 prepared orders this evening. Prepared order number 1 in the matter of the requests of the records manager for permission to destroy certain books, papers, and records of various county departments.
I move for adoption of order number 1.
Is there a second?
Second, Fitch.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Order number 1 is adopted.
Prepared order number 2 in the matter of communication from Todd A. Martin, Director of Administration, and Jennifer Keating, Acting Director of Procurement, requesting authorization to dispose of certain personal property.
I move for adoption of order number 2.
Is there a second?
Second, Fitch.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Order number 2 is adopted. Any other matters to come before the body this evening?
Yes, Councilwoman Days.
Certainly.
We had a very informative presentation this afternoon from our public health department about the vaccination efforts in St. Louis County. I was startled to learn that even though we are the most populous county in the state, to date we have received less than 5,000 doses of the vaccine from the state, whom we depend on to receive our vaccine supply. I was also started to learn that despite the state receiving over $1.5 billion in combined funding pools to spend on vaccination efforts statewide, St. Louis County has not received a penny of that money to help us build our infrastructure to be able to give vaccinations to our residents. I believe that the state owes us some answers, and I'm writing a letter to our director of the Department of Health and Senior Services, Dr. Randall Williams, to ask him to appear before the council next week. I invite all of my colleagues on the council to sign on to that letter. I will be sending it shortly tomorrow morning. Secondly, I would like to announce that Councilwoman Dunaway and I are hosting a town hall that is open to everyone in St. Louis County on vaccine efforts. This will be held a week from Thursday on February 12th. We will be joined by Department of Public Health officials. It will be at 6 p.m. and it will be virtual. We welcome all to attend, and further information about that will be coming out. Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Councilman Fitch.
if I could just take exception to one thing Councilwoman Clancy said. Obviously, she misheard the director or the co-director of health. She didn't say we get our vaccine through the State Department of Health. We order our vaccine directly from the manufacturers. We put in our orders there. The state, I specifically asked her, is the state stopping us from getting vaccine? And the answer to that was no. We make our orders, we put our orders in with the manufacturers. So to say that the state is withholding vaccine is absolutely just not fair and it's not right. Well, thank you, Madam Chair.
Councilman Days, I'd like to address that really
Just one second. Is there anyone else that wants to weigh in before we get back to Councilwoman Clancy? Councilwoman Clancy, you have the floor.
I actually heard something very different than Councilman Fitch said. Well, I don't recall, Councilman Fitch, you asking that question directly. And I don't recall our Director of Public Health saying it like you stated she did. So I think that that's a mischaracterization. The record in the journal will reflect that. I believe that the state is responsible for directing the traffic flow of which counties and which jurisdictions get the vaccine. Either way, it was very, very startling to learn how much it feels like the state is shortchanging St. Louis County in our vaccination efforts and in our doses. So I look forward to getting answers from the state about this.
And
Thank you very much. And I think that if we want to clarification, we can contact Spring Schmidt and she can clarify exactly what was said this evening. There's a little bit of truth in both of those statements. So Councilwoman Clancy, looking forward to your letter. Any other business to come before the body at this particular time? I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Y'all have a good evening and stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you.